So it's been a couple rumors on the internet for exactly what's gonna be the killer for chapter 31, that being the original killer and not a licensed killer. And apparently there's this rumor flowing online that the next original killer is gonna be something called the Watchers or the Watcher, vice versa. This all came from a YouTube user who predicted Chucky, Alan Wake, the original killer, which he says similar to Legion, along with Vecna from Dungeons and Dragons, not Stranger Things, and then Dracula from Castlevania. But the exact comment that everyone is referring to, where he actually rumored the 3 humanoid alien, is this comment that says 30.5 is Alan Wake, Saga Anderson as a legendary skin, and 31 is the original killer, similar to Legion. They are 3 humanoid alien. But of course this is a joke, I'm just assuming. But is it really a joke? And then that's when Kojiro posted this, which was on January 12th. He said, "I'm not trolling, by the way. If I was trolling, I'd at least include a punchline. Next DVD killer is called the Watcher / the Watchers. I don't know which one. There are 3 World War I soldiers possessed by aliens called the Watchers. According to that YouTube comment, quote unquote leak, this matches up. 3 humanoid aliens." And yes, he has a point, it does match up, because if you read here, it says this: there are 3 prisoners, something wicked, All Hallows Eve, 3 English speaking prisoners of World War I who were taken into the fog. In search of a little simple, they were captured by the enemy. After witnessing 2 of their companions executed and barely escaping their pursuers, they fell into the temple they sought, and into the entity's realm. During the Haunted by Daylight event, the 3 Watchers entered their minds, and they created the Aesthetic hooks and Aesthetic generators in an attempt to open the doorway home. The 3 Watchers, 3 unseen individuals who entered the minds of the 3 prisoners. They have some unknown angle in the mind involving the devices attached to Aesthetic hooks and Aesthetic generators. This eerily adds up with what the comment was talking about, which is like a Legion type thing, because they all seem like they need to be as one, or at least they need to stick together. These prisoners or World War I soldiers, I should say. But it's like, even with this alone, it's pretty vague, because we definitely need to get more information on exactly what they're about, because from what it looks like, their only purpose is to open the doorway home, them trying to get out the realm of the entity. What I find interesting about all this is that this connects to the Haunted by Daylight event, so you would know that if the original killers are the Watchers, they did this before with the Blight. Blight is a killer connected to an event, the Blighted events that happen yearly. And Blight was basically being teased in the background, but everyone did speculate him being the killer at some point. So these would basically be Haunted by Daylight killers, if that makes sense, since they come from that event. But judging from the lore, it seemed like they already been here before, or if this already existed. What I also find interesting is that if you look at the Haunted by Daylight archive cutscene, you can see the observer going into that unknown egg on the water tower and on Macmillian. At first I thought that was connected to their side game that they coming out with, the Frank Stone joint, but this seems like it can be connected to the Watchers. Notice at the end of the cutscene, you see the observer clenching his head, because it obviously hurts him. It's almost like if the Watchers are trying to enter his mind, like how it mentions in the lore. So with these Watchers, what if they're like the fusion of many souls or something like that? Kinda like Ermac from Mortal Kombat, but in this case it's Dead by Daylight's Ermac. And you would know that Ermac is really not just one person, it's many people. It's a legion, almost like the Watchers, from what it looks like. When I first read this, I thought it was just gonna be soldiers, to the point where they're just like these army of soldiers that actually throw grenades and wield guns. In short, I thought they were more like soldiers than them being aliens. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not sure if we're actually 100% getting this, but from reading this, it looks like they will have that alien type vibe, or that mysterious vibe to them, rather than them having like a World War theme. Because I thought this chapter was going to be like a Call of Duty themed chapter, where of course it's not Call of Duty, but it kind of took inspiration from Call of Duty, where the killers are like these army of soldiers. But this looks very different from just that. Gojira also posted today, the March killer was found in the files. It's the Watcher, like I said. And then it shows 3 codes, I assume those are, for 3 Watchers. Gojira really is a troll, but I kind of believe him at this point, because this does seem like something that the devs would put in the game. But take this with a heavy grain of salt, bro, because this dude played too much. Power wise, when I think of something like the Watchers, I think of like a stealth killer almost. Like something that could like creep up on you, is always lurking on you, stalking you from a distance, ready to capture you at any second. That's how I feel like when I hear the Watchers. But it's really more I gotta see to like the lore or just in general about these watchers in order to decipher a power for them. Because right now, from the sound of it, they just sound like lost souls or a fusion of lost souls. Have no idea what they would do though. I just hope it's something very unique and creative. I would love something that we never seen before. I mean, I would like to look at the Haunted by Daylight event to the point where look what we had to do, right? Or look what was a feature in that event. You get to go inside that portal, but there was some consequence for going inside those portals, whether you were a survivor or a killer. So what if the watchers could open these portals and like force survivors into the portals somehow, to the point where when they actually are in the portals, they're at a disadvantage against the killer. The reason they're at a disadvantage against this killer in particular is because the watchers, that's their realm technically, since apparently they're the ones coming from the Haunted by Daylight event. I could be wrong on that though. The power could literally be anything. Visual wise, I can see it looking something like the egg, and that's kind of why I thought of the portals as well, because the egg took the observer to that place. So what if the watchers could just do that to you in general? But I kind of see that as a side thing and not anything too main, only because that and alone doesn't sound too exciting. But I would love something on the side on top of that. I can maybe see the map having a similar vibe to how it looked like in the Haunted by Daylight event, but of course with a twist on it, because I doubt they will repeat the same area unless because that area was small, so they can just extend it. So it might just be that area you were at when you enter the portal and then some. So just an expanded version of that place, of that lost place I should say, where you see those lost souls idle. Those were just my thoughts though, so I'm about to read your comments right now to see what you guys are thinking about. Ooga Booga 8736 says, considering that it was through Halloween 2022 tome and it usually takes behavior a year to get a full chapter out, it's highly possible. Exactly, I agree with that, because when you go to the lore from the All Hallows Eve or Haunted by Daylight from 2022, it says the cloaked survivor moved through the fog trying to destroy the devices before it was too late, but the survivor's attempt has been mirrored by the three watchers who had somehow entered the minds of the prisoners. Through memories, visions, and dreams, they had been made to believe harnessing dark energy was their only chance to escape, that the devices would somehow open the door back home. But the cloaked survivor knew better. The cloaked survivor could see the dark energy was doing something else to the world, and that the watchers had something far more wicked in mind. So yeah, they were already mentioned in the lore, so the fact that it does take, well, it's been said that the devs do take a year to make chapters, I can see that being highly possible. I definitely wouldn't put it past it. If they did it with Blight, there's no doubt that they will do it again. So it's just a matter of these rumors actually being true, because in all reality, chapter 31 could still be anything. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do believe the rumors just because it's just something that I could see the devs doing. Major Gaming 2633, at least I hope that's supposed to say Major, says the only thing that confuses me is if the Watchers are aliens that take over human minds. Wouldn't the characters themselves not look like aliens? Unless the aliens somehow change how the host looks, the alien part seems kinda irrelevant. Unless maybe the humans they take over gain alien powers of some kind. It sounds cool, but I would have preferred if it was just 3 aliens, not 3 aliens controlling 3 humans, lol. I see what you mean. Like, you just talking about like just 3 aliens, like the stereotypical aliens, like gray skin aliens, something like that. I was telling my brother about that too. That's when I was telling him about the whole World War I thing, where I would hope that the chapter is like some sort of World War I theme, and the map actually looks like the trenches and the bunkers and stuff. It has all that to it. But nah, yeah, 3 just stereotypical aliens sound cool in itself. I guess maybe, just maybe, this is my small little theory, they want to spice it up and not make it just like 3 stereotypical aliens, because of the fact that we already getting the alien later this year, that being Predator, because we already have Alien. But that's literally a claim. I have nothing to back that up. Maybe Predator can be coming next year, who knows, you know. I say that because that'll be them revisiting sci-fi again, which they already done. But like I mentioned, this killer alone is just giving me Ermac. Not saying that they can't abuse sci-fi, but I could definitely just see them spacing it out and not just doing 2 sci-fi chapters like every year, you know. But of course I could be wrong. Mysterious Spaceman says, if it's a body snatcher's gimmick, we will finally get a killer that can pose as survivors, or at least control survivors. He then went on to say, oh snap, what if the 3 prisoners spawn on the map and just run around like survivor bots, and the killer can watch and jump into one of them at any time? Like what Sheriff 7491 responded, it is a dope idea, but I could of course see it being ruined by Swifts, of course. The callouts would just be crazy, they would always be on top of it, and the power would just be useless from that point, at least trying to deceive them wise. But if deceit isn't the point and something is just roaming around the map and the host could just jump into it, then I could see that being pretty okay. But it definitely has to be something on the side. That can't just be the power alone though. But you said a body snatchers gimmick. I'm assuming that's a movie or TV show. Something like The Thing, maybe. That's what it's kind of giving me for how you interpreted it. Miguel Doja 6960 said, bro, why do I always link the Watchers to the Observer? I mean, they technically are linked to the Observer, because when you look at the cutscene, it looks like they were almost trying to enter his mind because he kept clenching his head. I mean, it could be something else that maybe we just not paying attention to, but that's what it looks like from the cutscene. So who knows, the Observer might be down with them some way. He might just be the host of the Observers, you know. It might just really be 4 of them and 3 of them are like the side pieces, you know, kind of like the Knight. You see how the Knight is of course the main one you control, but he can spawn out his other guards, his 3 other guards. So it might be something like that where it's actually 4 people, that being the host, which is this entity or whatever, that possibly being the Observer, and then the 3 prisoners being the 3 prisoners that hope and altogether they're the Watchers. So who knows, it could always be a possibility. Gangsta Bro 3406 says, World War II soldiers, huh? Well, World War I soldiers. I wonder if they will be able to use firearms and explosives. That's bro, you read my mind. That's exactly what I was thinking about when I read it the first time, because I was hoping, how dope would that be for like a Call of Duty inspired chapter? I think that would be so cool to have like a map where it's bunkers, trenches, it's like you're in war and the killer is like this soldier throwing grenades at you, trying to shoot you. I will hope for that one day. I mean, I'll be honest, this doesn't sound like it. It seems like they're going for more of that mystical, mysterious sci-fi vibe with this, even from what it sounds like, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I would hope for a chapter like that one day, along with like a noir type of chapter where it's like black and white, has that type of aesthetic, that LA noir aesthetic. You get what I mean. Lil Lipton 8838 said, ignore anything Kojiro posts. All he does is post fake leaks. He's a clout chaser. I mean, yes, he is a troll. He could be I mean, yes, he is a troll. He can be unreliable sometimes, but something is telling me he's telling the truth on this one. It just sounds too accurate with what's been going on, especially this mysterious YouTube commenter who commented and somehow predicted the content coming. So I don't know. It could be anything. Like I said, Kojiro maybe played too much, but this just sounds too accurate to me. Like, this definitely does sound like something that the devs would do. There's no doubt about that. You got the YouTube commenter that said it, but apparently he was just joking. You got the lore of the 3 Watchers that's connected to this Haunted by Daylight event. Something we've seen before, where they teased the Blight and he wound up being the killer. Basically an event-inspired killer, or event-themed killer. So we could be seeing the same thing going on again. Like, he would have to show me more if this came out of the blue, you know? Like, if there was no comments at all, if there was no 3 Watchers, nothing like that, and this just came out of nowhere that he said that the Watchers are coming to Dead by Daylight, that's what they're called, I would take that with a grain of salt. Only because he can be reliable sometimes. But from everything centering around the Watchers, I don't know. It just sounds like, at least sounds like it could be 90% real. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. But it could literally be anything else. And we could just be theorizing for nothing. So I kind of do hope that the chapter is the Watchers though, because it already has me hooked and curious on what this could be, or at least what their power could be, because it just sounds like they're bringing Ermac to Dead by Daylight. But who knows? I'm pretty sure there will be more info pouring out as the days go by, so I guess we will just wait and see. But anyways, that will be all. Leave me more thoughts down below on what you think the Watchers can be. They definitely sound mysterious to me. I just hope they're that diverse and exciting, since this is the chapter before the anniversary. And usually when I think of chapters before the anniversary, I just like to think of that chapter being like the pre-excitement of what you should really be excited for, which will be the anniversary. So let's just hope this chapter delivers in all aspects, but of course keep your expectations low. That's just the better way to always think of things. But anyways, love y'all, take care, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace.